Hey, welcome to Bible 365. This is Michael, your host, and today we are reading on Proverbs chapter 3, 11 to 20, Matthew 19, 16, 30, Job 8, 9, and 10. I like this Bible in 1 year thing, but I have a little commentary on it. I would actually like to read less Old Testament and more of the Proverbs, like a full Proverbs in a full New Testament, because that Old Testament stuff is great, but man, it sure can make you tired sometime reading all that stuff. But anyway, let's jump into this. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11 says, "My son, don't despise Yahweh's discipline, neither be weary of his correction." Let's flip this. "For whom Yahweh loves, he corrects, even as the father reproves the son in whom he delights." Man, this is kind of cool to see this right now, because this kind of reminds me of, like, when we go through suffering, there's some other scriptures that talk about suffering, and it really is God's training gym. Not that you want to go through unnecessary suffering, but everything that we go through as believers, as we struggle, it's making us stronger, for real. All right, let's jump back into this, and I'm gonna shut up. So Proverbs says, "My son, don't despise Yahweh's discipline, neither be weary of his correction. For whom Yahweh loves, he corrects, even as the father reproves it, the son in whom he delights. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, the man who gets understanding, for her good profit is better than getting silver, and her return is better than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies. None of the things you can desire are to be compared to her. Length of days is in her right hand, and her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are of pleasantness. All her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Happy is everyone who retains her. By wisdom Yahweh founded the earth. By understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths were broken up, and the skies dropped down the dew." Now we're going to jump to Matthew chapter 19, starting with verse 16. It says, "Behold, one came to him and said, 'Good teacher, what good things shall I do that I may have eternal life?' He said to them, 'Why do you call me good? No one is good but one, that is God. But if you want to enter into life, keep the commandments.'" Here's a footnote right here, verse 19, 17. So MT and TRNU reads, "Why do you ask me about what is good?" Interesting. Verse 18, he said to him, "Which ones?" Jesus said, "You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not offer false testimony. Honor your father and mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself." Exodus 20, 12 to 16, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 16 to 20, and Leviticus 19, 18 has those commands. And then verse 21, it says, Jesus said to him, "If you want to be perfect." Oh, I'm sorry. Verse 20 said, "The young man said to him, 'All these things I have observed from my youth. What do I still lack?' Jesus said to him, 'If you want to be perfect, go sell what you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And then come follow me.' But when the young man heard this, he went away sad, for he was one who had great possessions. Jesus said to his disciples, 'Most certainly I say to you, a rich man will enter the kingdom of heaven with difficulty. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into God's kingdom.' When the disciples heard it, they were exceedingly astonished, saying, 'Who then can be saved?' Looking at them, Jesus said, 'With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible.'" That is important to remember. Then Peter answered, "Behold, we have left everything and followed you. What then will we have?" Jesus said to them, "Most certainly I tell you that you who have followed me in the regeneration when the Son of Man will sit on the throne of his glory, you also will sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or fathers or mothers for wife or children or lands for my name's sake will receive 100 times and will inherit eternal life. But many will be last who are first, and the first who are last. Interesting. All right, we're starting with Job chapter 8, but I do want to make a comment about that. The first shall be last and last shall be first. It seems like there is a theme of, the last being put last, like in the story of Joseph, where Jacob is the youngest, but Esau it was prophesied that Esau's descendants will serve Jacob because, Esau had an appetite that I guess God wasn't pleased with. And who knows all the reasoning but God. And some people he chose to understand. But that last thing is very interesting. All right, moving on to Job chapter 8. If you guys have any comments about that, go ahead and leave them in the chat. All right, looking at Job chapter 8. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered, "How long will you speak these things? Shall the words of your mouth be a mighty wind? Does God pervert justice? Or does the Almighty pervert righteousness? If your children have sinned against him, he has delivered them into the hand of their disobedience. If you want to seek God diligently, make your supplication to the Almighty. If you were pure and upright, surely now he would awaken for you and make the habitation of your righteousness prosper. Though your beginning was small, yet your latter end would greatly increase. Please inquire of the past generations, find out about the learning of their fathers, for we are but of yesterday and know nothing, because our days on earth are a shadow. Shall they not teach you? Shall they not teach you? Tell you in utter words out of their heart? Can the papers grow up without mire? Can the rushes grow without water? While it is yet in its greenness, not to cut down, it withers before any other reed. So are the paths of all who forget God. The hope of the godless man will perish, whose confidence will break apart, who trusts in a spider's web. He will lean on his house, but it will not stand. He will cling to it, but it will not endure. He is green before the sun. His shoots go out along his garden. His roots are wrapped around the rock pile. He sees the place of stones. If he is destroyed from his place, then it will deny him, saying, I have not seen you. Behold, this is the joy of his way out of the earth. Others will spring. Behold, God will not cast away a blameless man, neither will he uphold the evildoers. He will still fill your mouth with laughter, your lips with shouting. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame. The tent of the wicked will be no more. Then Job answered, Truly I know that is so. But how can a man be just with God? If he is pleased to contend with him, he can't answer him one time in 1,000. God is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who has hardened himself against him and prospered? He removes the mountains and they don't know it. When he overturns them in his anger, he shakes the earth out of its place. Its pillars tremble. He commands the sun and it doesn't rise, and seals up the stars. He alone stretches out the heavens and treads on the waves of the sea. He makes the bear, Orion, and Palladius, and the rooms of the south. He does great things past finding out, yet marvelous things without number. Behold, he goes by me, and I don't see him. He passes on also, but I don't perceive him. Behold, he snatches away. Who can hinder him? Who will ask him, what are you doing? God will not withdraw his anger. The helpers of Rahab stoop under him. How much less will I answer him? And just side note, Rahab is another word for Egypt. Some of these verses. How much less will I answer him and choose my words to argue with him? Though I were righteous, yet I wouldn't answer him. I would make my supplication to my judge if I had called and he had answered me, yet I wouldn't believe that he listened to my voice. For he breaks me with a storm and multiplies my wounds without cause. He will not allow me to catch my breath, but fills me with bitterness. If it is a matter of strength, behold, he is mighty. If of justice, who says, if of justice, who says he will summon me? Though I am righteous, my own mouth will condemn me. Though I am blameless, it will prove me perverse. I am blameless. I don't respect myself. I despise my life. It is all the same. Therefore, I say he destroys the blameless and the wicked. If the scourge kills suddenly, he will mock at the trial of the innocent. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of his judges. If not, then who it is? Who is it? The devil. Now my days are swifter than a runner flee away. They see no good. They have passed away as the swift ships, as the eagle that swoops on the prey. If I say I will forget my complaint, I will put off my sad face and cheer up. I'm afraid of all my sorrows. I know that you will not hold me innocent. I will be condemned. Why then do I labor in vain? If I wash myself with snow and cleanse my hands with lye, yet you will plunge me into the ditch. My own clothes will abhor me, for he is not a man as I am, that I should answer him, that we should come together in judgment. There is no umpire between us. That's funny that he's an umpire, like which like a baseball term, umpire. That's very funny. Between us, that they lay his hand on both of us. Let him take his rod away from me. Let his terror not make me afraid. Then I will speak and not fear him, for I am not so in myself. Chapter 10. My soul is weary of my life. I will give free course to my complaint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will tell God, do not condemn me. Show me why you contend with me. Is it good to you that you should oppress, that you should despise the work of your hands, and smile on the counsel of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh, or do you see as man sees? Are your days as the days of mortals, or are your years as man's years? That you inquire after my iniquity, and search after my sin? Although you know that I am not wicked, there is no one who can deliver out of your hand. Your hands have framed me and fashioned me altogether, yet you destroy me. Remember, I beg you, that you have fashioned me as clay. Will you bring me into the dust again? Haven't you poured me out like milk and curdled me like cheese? You have clothed me with skin and flesh and knit me together with the bones and sinews. You have granted me life and loving kindness. Your visitation has preserved my spirit. Yet when you hid these things in your heart, I know that this is with you. If I sin, then you mark me. You will not acquit me from my iniquity. If I am wicked, woe to me. If I am righteous, I will still will not lift up my head, being filled with disgrace and conscious of my affliction. If my head is held high, you hunt me like a lion. Again, you show yourself powerful to me. You renew your witness against me and increase your indignation on me. Changes and warfare are within me. Why then have you brought me out of the womb? I wish I had given up the spirit and no eye had seen me. I should have been as though I had not been. I should have been carried from the womb to the grave. Aren't my days few? Stop, leave me alone, that I may find a little comfort before I go where I will not return, to the land of darkness into the shadow of the death, the land of the land dark as midnight, the shadow of death, without any order, where there is light, is as midnight. All right. That was day 27 right there. So I think we want to make a little mistake here. All right, we might have to back up just a little bit. All right, so that was day 27. I feel like I read something else. Wow. So guys, we're gonna have to do this again because I think I read the wrong day. It's so weird too because it's like I think right here is just this is so funny. All right, I guess we're gonna try this again, right? We're gonna